remember the way we grew up and what we were allowed to say and what we were not allowed to say to white people or about white people.
Because there are people who lost their children, who lost their husbands and their wives. So why should we go back?
Every black South African, you see, was having that wonderful moment. It's a moment of celebration, you see. According to my experience, like of what I see, they had that feeling that now apartheid is all over.
It was the release of Nelson Mandela. That stuck in my mind. But I mean, I was young, I was only 10.
I learned about the apartheid regime when I was probably about 3 or 4 years old already, and that was in '94. So when we had the elections, I was born during the time of the first elections.
I was born in 1993, and that was kind of when like things were cooling down and things were kind of slowing down. So I don't remember any of it.
Enough. Yeah, I do remember enough.
After 1994, when the new government came into power, it equalized subsidies on a per capita basis. So now every single school in the country, depending on its head counts, would get exactly the same basic subsidy. So you can say on a policy basis that the system has been equalized, but these legacies remain untouched. And so many of these schools are in the townships. Today, some of them, of course, have improved, but many of them haven't. Because this mountain which they've had to confront before apartheid still in some ways is right there in their faces every day.
The previous white schools, they do not experience such a lot of problems as the schools in townships. Things have changed a bit, but most of your cases, most of your vandalism, most of your safety issues comes from your townships.
I grew up in the township, and you know, people were just driven into the township by the whites.
So in Gugulethu, I can say now they are gangsters like Palestina or something. They make us leave hell because they go like they shoot each other in front of us. So it's not nice to leave in front of them because they could kill some people.
But I remember, I think it was early last year, they had a few gang fights and the rest of that, shooting, people dying. And it wasn't like people who were, I'd say, over the ages of 20. People were younger than me and 16 and all that. So it wasn't so good.
So in our poorest schools, there's a lot of high incidents of child abuse, traumatized children as a result of being exposed to this gang violence. There are also many single-parent families, poverty, unemployment, and all the associated ills.
The ability for a child to be able to emerge out of that environment and succeed and to overcome those disadvantages is often quite small. Of course, it happens, you know, that every now and then a young person does come out of that world and is able to succeed, to come to a place here like UCT. It doesn't happen very often, you know. But when it does, it's a major triumph that that child, as an individual, has been able to pull off.
And there was this time whereby the gangsters, my brother used to be naughty, one of them, and then now he's in jail. And then at that time there was this time whereby they came as a group, and then they were trying to kill like my brothers and their friends, and we're in the same yard, imagine, and they shoot It was my first time to hear gunshots next to my... I was like, no, God, I'm dying today. And 18 shots of gun, they were killed. Most of them, they went to hospital and they wanted to kill my parents.
I think education in this country is in a deep, deep crisis, and I think the mess is bigger than anyone wants to admit.
There's an incredible hunger amongst a lot of the kids for self-improvement, but they don't know how. There's nobody out there able to show them how to turn these dreams into reality. The teachers aren't up to the challenge.
I want to go to the university because my brothers and sisters, they didn't have that opportunity to go to the university because of money. And then my mother thought, like, if I doing good at school and then I passed grade 12, and then he will put me to university.
I think it's very important to me because my mom didn't finish a matric. My gran, I don't think she went to school, and basically my whole family, like, they finished matric or they didn't go further. So I kind of want to finish my matric and go study and yeah, become something, like do better than my mother and the rest.
What I like about her, my mother is caring for everyone. We care about each other. Everyone lives for one another.
My dad wanted me to go and learn to write schools. He said that I'm very clever for black skills, but I don't understand that. But I do want to go to high schools. They have lots of opportunities.
I want to go to high school and go to university and finish my studies and work.
I want to go to high school, and then when I finish high school I want to go to the university.
The key thing that in some ways counts against them is the way in which apartheid has structured these family contexts out of which they come. And so many of these households in which these kids might be found are single parent households or kids living with grandmothers. Males are often absent. And
we are two and my mother. It's me and my brother.
I have a brother and I live with my mom and my gran.
My family, in my house there are 4 people I stay with. I stay with my grandfather, my mother and my sister.
I live with my mother and then my father passed away in 2002, and then I only live with my mother.
At home I live with my grandmother and my auntie and my cousins. My father's not living with me.
My father is dead about 2000, but I was 3 years then. He died. I don't know what happened, but now I'm staying with my mother.
My parents passed away in 2005, before I came here in New City.
Those kids are basically on their own. You know, they're having to deal with these challenges of life by themselves. States, in a significant way, unable to confront the enormity of that problem. There remain big issues in townships around support for growing up. Kids are very susceptible to all sorts of antisocial kinds of things. Life's hard.
I think there's some hope. I think more learners are actually realizing that, you know, you need to be educated, you need to actually have some education.
I just hope for the best for this country because it's a beautiful country, it really is. And we have beautiful people, beautiful cultures, and yeah, I'm just hoping everything's going to go well.
The youth, the younger ones that are following behind me, they are the future presidents, you see. So we need them. Yeah, we need them.
You know, a lot of sacrifice goes into making life better for this generation that is to come.
If I focus on my dreams, nothing will stand by. Nothing will stop me.
I do see my future, and there's no one who's going to stop me from living the future that I want.
That's the hope.
I